What's up, YouTube? So in this video, I'm just going to be going through the Steve Vai guitar lessons that I've recommended and written up. And lately what I've been doing is I've just been going through the articles that I'm writing just so there's a video version of it, just kind of an audio version that you can listen to in case you don't want to read all the content. If you want to check it out, there's a link to the description or to the article in the description below the video. So you can check that out if you want to read it. But we're just going to be going through the Steve Vai lessons that either he teaches or somebody teaches about his style. So we have four, and I put an honorable mention there in at the end. That fifth one there is a jam play lesson. The first two are courses that are actually taught by Steve Vai. One is paid, and the other one is free. It's on YouTube that I believe Guitar World put together. So the paid one, we do partner with TrueFire, so I just want to be transparent about that. The link doesn't cost you anything extra, but that's in the video description as well, and that actually helps us out. We partner with them because they're just a really good there's a really good program. I mean, they've got tons and tons of content, and TrueFire is kind of the website that we recommend most for kind of like the intermediate to advanced study. Someone who's in that camp, that skill level of guitar, and of course the Steve Vai stuff, fits pretty firmly there. It's taught in a way that you can get a lot from it, even if you're not a really advanced player. But his style is definitely technical, and it's definitely maybe one of the more intricate playing styles of our day, certainly. So TrueFire is a good place to go for that, and that's really one of the only places where he's done an organized course. So we're going to go through the first two, like I said, which are actually taught by him, and then the second two are on jam playing guitar tricks, and those are kind of in the style of type courses where someone else is teaching it. So the first one that we cover is the TrueFire course. It's Alien Guitar Secrets, it's called, and a lot of it he actually goes through his music from Passion and Warfare. So you get like the typical TrueFire interface, and a lot of what Vai does in these lessons is he just kind of talks about his methodology, and kind of intersperses it with demonstrations. So what you'll see is you'll see him play a little bit and then talk a lot about like how he comes to uh, his conclusions about music and about why he does what he does on the guitar, and it's really interesting just to listen to. I can go over to the course here. There are 37 videos total. It is about 5 hours, just under 5 hours worth of content. And there you can see some of the syllabus there that he goes through. So it talks about developing your tone. This is going to be these maybe first 4 or 5 are going to be a lot of him talking, which again is useful. Talks about some chord building there, some of his technique. He's pretty proficient when it comes to the way he bends notes. Kind of groundbreaking, I would argue, in the way he's done it. And then he gets into dynamics and phrasing, and then the second half is him walking through a bunch of his music. So you've got Passion and Warfare there, The Animal, Erotic Nightmares, For the Love of God, and I think pretty much that entire album he goes through. So that's the course on TrueFire. That's sort of our top recommendation if you're looking for something by Steve that he's actually taught himself. You can see some of the interface there. It's every time he plays, this sound slice embed goes through. Kind of jumps to wherever the tab needs to be to match up with his playing. It's super handy, and that is included for all the lessons. So just some of the notes that I jotted down here. Like I said, a lot of explanation from Steve Vai. There's a lot of detail about his lead technique. He definitely talks a lot about chord building. In this course, you can buy on its own for a one-time fee, or you can sign up to TrueFi for a membership, which becomes like a streaming thing, kind of like Netflix, where you can stream everything. Um, and then, like I mentioned, Vi goes through a lot of his own music. And as far as cons, I mean, there really aren't any downsides to the course. I really couldn't find anything to complain about. You're getting a firsthand kind of instructional body of material from Steve himself, which is awesome. So and the price is good. Like I said, you can buy it as a standalone course, so it's definitely a good option there. So the second one is available on YouTube, and it's something that Guitar World put together. It's similar actually in terms of how the material is taught. Again, like Steve will play something and then talk a lot about his uh, kind of his thought process. And it's 7 videos total. So you have technique, string bends, vibrato, legato, dynamics and phrasing, and then some rhythm stuff. And that's basically what it is. What it struck me as was sort of a watered down kind of bare bones version of his True Fire course, which would make sense since by this point he had already taught that course, had already filmed it. So this is sort of like the light version of that. You of course don't get nearly as much material. It's not nearly as in depth, and he's not going over any songs. Not there's no to the best I could tell, there's no copyrighted material. There's no music that he has published in these lessons. But again, they are all free, so you can go check those out pretty easily. I've linked to those in the description as well. The camera work here is really good. I mean, Guitar World did an excellent job with that, which isn't surprising. They've been putting out more of these lately, and the production quality just tends to be pretty good. Steve is properly mic'd up. He's easy to hear when he talks. His guitar is, um, it sounds great. The only thing I didn't really like about it is that like I said, it's just not a whole lot of content compared to the paid stuff, and then the organization of the material isn't quite as good. He just sort of jumps around to these real, kind of pillar topics, and you don't get a whole lot of depth. But some of the notes I put down here for this course is that, of course, it's completely free. Unlike True Fire, you kind of get the same teaching style where he explains a lot, and he is definitely good at putting complex concepts into language that's a little bit easier to understand. Video and audio quality are very good. Demonstration explanation is similar in quality to his paid course. It definitely makes a kind of a good precursor uh, to the course on True Fire. So if you're interested in that, it might be helpful to watch the Guitar World stuff that's free on YouTube and see how that strikes you. See if that's something that you think would be helpful to you or not. As we typically see with free content, the organization and ideas and ordering of topics is pretty basic without a lot of cohesion between lessons. So what I meant by that was basically the jumping around is more pronounced. It's not kind of this smooth uh, slope of difficulty or information. It's just a little bit kind of, like I said, it's hitting bullet points, and it's a lot shorter. So that's often, if not always, the issue with things that are published for free, particularly on YouTube. It's not going to be ordered really well. You're not going to go from topic to topic to topic. You're going to kind of just jump around. So, is what it is. Number 3 is Jam Play course. It is in the style of Steve Vai course taught by Chris Lipe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right. Chris Lipe right here. You can see a picture there. That's Chris. Yeah, here's Chris again. This is the Jamplay interface that you're probably familiar with. I'll link to this course. We partner with Jamplay as well. We've reviewed their stuff too. We've reviewed their uh, main program kind of in full, so you can check that out as well. I'll link to that also. But this is going to be a little bit different because you're going to experience this through the eyes of somebody else, not Steve Vai himself, right? So this is kind of Chris's interpretation of Steve Vai's style, but it is a ton of content, I believe. Let's see. Let's see if I jotted down here. A lot of the videos run over 20 minutes. A couple of them go over 30 minutes. And he's going to see some of the stuff here: legato, melody, some of the stuff that Steve Vai does with the intervals and how to integrate those with scales. And then you get the 3 camera angles, which is a pretty common jam play arrangement. They do a good job with that, and it's going to be a better I thought it was definitely more effectively ordered, certainly than the Guitar World course, certainly than the stuff on YouTube, and maybe not quite as in depth as what you get on TrueFire, but it's kind of it's kind of struck me as maybe a less complex version of the TrueFire course. And again, I don't think that there's any songs in this one. If you're looking to learn songs, I would still go back to the TrueFire course if that's something you want to focus on. But you do get a different take on Steve Vai's playing style, which some people might want. Some people might prefer to get that information secondhand from someone who is not Steve. And Chris does a good job and the way he teaches and kind of the way he presents it. So this is a good one to recommend. It's really the only one that I could find, the only style of Steve Vai course, aside from what we're going to go over in guitar tricks. But just a few notes. There's plenty of depth in this course. Lipe is a good teacher. He's a good communicator. And a lot of what you're learning is applicable in other contexts. So he's teaching you technique. He's teaching you processes that Vai uses, but he's doing it in such a way that you can take those processes and apply them in other areas, right? So you're not just going to be a Steve Vai cover band, but you can take what you're learning and you can use it elsewhere. This course is also available for a single fee download, and then of course there is uh, some negative aspects to not having Vai himself doing the teaching and explaining the concepts. But like I said, that may be a good or a bad thing depending on how you view it. All right, so let's jump down to guitar tricks. So this course is not explicitly a Steve Vai course, but basically it is part of the Rock Level 2 course in guitar tricks. And we'll link to a trial of this as well. I think the full Rock Level 2 course has a ton of stuff in it, and this is just one part of it. But it's the part that deals with Vai's style, which is taught by this fellow here named Anders Mortensen. He's an excellent teacher and one of the best in my opinion. He really makes guitar tricks better with his teaching. And in this section, he's just kind of going over all of the uh, players who kind of have the guitar front and center as their main showpiece. So that's Steve Vai, that's Joe Satriani, Eric Johnson, I think to an extent John Petrucci, and all those guys. That's kind of he's kind of bunching that style into this group of lessons. So, like I said, it's not a full course, but he does touch on it a lot. So he's going to get into uh, some of the some of the same things that you saw in the jam play course. Like I noted down here, you can a lot of it you can take from here and you can apply it somewhere else. And of course, the organization of content is really good. That's something that Guitar Tricks is I'm always really impressed with how well they're able to organize material. But he goes over some effects use. He goes over uh, uh, kind of some concepts that you can that Vi often uses, and kind of tells you how you can use them in your own playing and in whatever style you're involved with. So I would think of it as kind of like the beginner's intro to Steve Vai style. So if True Fire was sort of the advanced course, Jam Play was sort of the intermediate course, then this section of Guitar Tricks would definitely kind of be the beginner's intro to this style of guitar playing. Just kind of an opportunity to get your feet wet. And like I said, you probably want to go through it in the context of the other course. So if you want something that's more beginner friendly, this would probably be the choice for you, because you're going to get some of Steve Vai's stuff. You're going to get something that's sort of uh, going to give you a look at what he does and kind of let you experience it a little bit, but it's definitely more for beginners. Um, and that's often what we like about guitar tricks, is that they are really strong with their order, with how they arrange topics, and then they're typically very good for beginners. And overall, this course and this section of the course is just an easy way to kind of digest and apply Steve Vai style and kind of put his concepts into practice. So obviously the entire course is not focused on Steve Vai. The Rock Level 2 course is what kind of the full scope of the content, and then you can't download it by itself. Guitar Tricks is membership only, so I think to get something out of this, you would really want to be interested in the rest of the Guitar Tricks program, and we'll link. There's a bunch of stuff we're going to link to, but we'll put that in the description as well. We have a review of Guitar Tricks that'll kind of take you through that whole program. So if you like it, you can do the free trial. That's linked down there as well, and then that'll kind of let you just try it out, and you can decide for yourself. I mean, that might be enough time to get through the Steve Vai course. I think they give you 14 days still, so there's plenty of time to go through it. But if you're not interested in the rest of Guitar Tricks, then getting a membership for just this section probably isn't the best idea for you. But that's pretty much it. I mean, there isn't a ton of material for as technical as Steve Vai is. He hasn't done a ton of kind of filmed teaching, which I know is just difficult to produce and is time consuming. But like I said, I would break it down into first person and then second person. So if you want the first person Steve Vai lessons where he's actually the one doing the teaching, the True Fire and Guitar World are good places to start. And then if you want something the kind of second hand where somebody else is teaching his concepts, the Jam Play course and Guitar Tricks course are good for that. And that's pretty much all there is. There's some extra stuff on Jam Play where I think they go over some Steve Vai riffs. But that's the bulk of it. I mean, if anybody knows of any other lessons that he has put out, feel free to leave it in the comments section. And if you get the chance, hit the like and the subscribe button. And that's all for this one, guys. So we'll see you next time.